We've got Chloe Cole now. Now, Chloe's story is very interesting. Hi, Chloe. Can you hear us okay?
Yes, I can.
Hi, Chloe. Firstly, thank you very much for joining us this evening. How are you?
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm doing pretty good, and I hope you guys are too.
Good. Would you be prepared to just tell us your story?
Yeah, so I call myself a detransitioner, meaning that I went through the course of going through a social and medical gender transition, and then I decided to permanently go back on that decision to live again to embrace my identity as a biological female. And I went through the whole course of transitioning while I was still a kid. And I started calling myself a boy when I was around 12 years old. And I was fast-tracked by my doctors into medically transitioning with puberty blockers and testosterone at the age of 13.
Wow. Oh, wow.
And
Chloe, just to be 15, clear, Chloe, just let me check. Obviously, I can hear from your accent. Whereabouts did this take place?
I'm from California.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry, carry on.
And I was 15 years old when I had gotten my first and only surgery. They removed my breast
15?
when I was 15.
You were 15 years old?
I was still in high school.
Oh, I'm really sorry about that, Chloe.
How does it make you feel now that you were only 15?
I mean, I have a lot of mostly negative emotions about it. I'm a person who, I guess you could say, is kind of superstitious. I think that everything happens for a reason, and for me, this has been a huge lesson, but I'm frankly disgusted that any adult thinks that a child could consent to something as life-changing as that. I mean, I lost entire organs. I lost parts of myself as a woman, as an aspiring mother, before I was even an adult yet. And I'm still grappling with the loss of my breasts.
I find it extraordinary, Chloe, and it's very brave of you to speak up about it, because your message to others who are going through similar sort of torments, if you like, about whether they should transition, your story is a really powerful lesson to them. What would you say to those people who are sitting at home watching you, thinking about, hang about, I'm in the wrong body, what should I do about it?
Well, I mean, the problem is not your body. There is nothing wrong with the way that you were born. It's really only the way that you see it. There's really no such thing as being born the wrong body. There is no biological marker that makes somebody transgender. It really is an entirely psychological condition. And it's important to keep sight of that and to remember that you are more than the way that you look. You are more than your body.
Yeah.
You're a human being. The way that you were born was a blessing. You're made the way that you were for a reason. And it's something to embrace. Even if you're feminine as a man or you're masculine as a woman, it just means that you have a unique personality, and that's something that should be cherished.
Chloe, I think it is very brave of you to share that, and I think that's the only way we're going to truly understand is by listening to the story of people like you.
Do you mind if I ask a question very quickly, Chloe? Look, I can't work out in my own mind whether the people who did this to you are evil, deluded, just sheltered themselves, confused. What's your impression of the doctors that went along with this? Because, I mean, removing the breasts of a healthy 15-year-old, to me, I mean, I'd lock you up for doing that. But maybe these people are not bad, they're just wrong.
I think, personally, that there are three kinds of doctors. The first kind being the ones who are in it, they have a good heart, but they are deluded. They think that what they're doing is genuinely benefiting these kids. And then there's the doctors who don't really care. They kind of have like a laissez-faire attitude. They just think, well, I'm just going along with the standards of care. I'm just doing what I'm told. And then there's the ones who are really in it for the money or for financial gain or otherwise.
I think they're the most scariest ones, I think, out of those three, really, because I suppose the box ticking doctor's one thing, and the doctor that thinks he's doing the best, but the one that's just profiting
now,
is...
Chloe, I mean, this was surgery on a minor. If you were consenting adult, it would be different. Can you sue? Is there any recourse? I mean, not necessarily for you, because you look like a well-rounded young woman to me. I don't want to be, you know, I don't want to sort of pat you on the head, but you do. But then again, there is an important element to your story to try and save other people from the child abuse that you've suffered. Is there a way of doing that?
Yeah, so a large part of doing that for me is speaking about my story and testifying on legislation to prevent this from happening ever again. And I also have a lawsuit of my own. I filed earlier this year. I haven't had any proceedings yet, but I'm very confident that I will win. And I want to scare off any other doctor from doing this to a child ever again.
Mm-hmm. Anything that's permanent is just, on a child, it is just not right. I mean, I think it just doesn't take... It's not rocket science.
What's your message to the British National Health Service, which is debating whether to give treatments to children? Do you think that they need to look at your case and think about it?
Yeah, cases like mine are actually quite common. I've met quite a few other detransitioners, and many of them are people who also transitioned as children and adolescents.
Oh, no.
And the ones who transition younger are some of the people who have the worst outcomes. I mean, the longer you go with these treatments, and especially the younger you go, when somebody's not fully developed, it's more dangerous.
Yeah.
These treatments become more dangerous and have more complications, especially the puberty blockers. People often say, well, they should at least allow them to have their puberty blocked because, I mean, it gives them time to determine whether they want to go through their natural puberty or through the puberty of the opposite sex. But that's not how it works. You can't just stop puberty. It's a natural bodily process that the body needs in order to develop into an adult.
Chloe, do you mind me asking? You don't have to answer if you feel uncomfortable answering this. Can you have children still?
I mean, I have gotten my menstrual cycle back, which is kind of a blessing, really, but I haven't gotten any fertility treatments. I mean, I haven't gotten any testing of my fertility or blood hormone levels in a long time, and frankly, I'm kind of scared to go back to the doctor. I don't know what they're going to tell me. It's just one of many factors. The menstrual cycle is just one of many factors in determining whether somebody will be fertile or not.
You see, the thing is, let's be honest, in any situation, you can go to the doctor and you might want something from the doctor. We can all be very convincing when we want something from a doctor. No judgment, but in Chloe's case, no wonder she feels nervous to go back to speak to a doctor again, because there has to be somebody who says, no, this is not right.
But what harm do you do by piling things onto each other? I mean, we've seen. I mean, I spoke to somebody who had IVF once and had to have chemotherapy whilst they had the IVF. So, you know, you're piling different things on top of each other. It can become additionally dangerous.
Right. I mean, I've already been put on a slew of pharmaceuticals. Who knows how, if I went on IVF or some other treatment, how that would affect my body? Because all of that is already very harsh on the body on its own.
Yeah.
And you've been through an awful lot. Well, look, Chloe, I have to say, as far as I'm concerned, I mean, I think you're talking about detransitioning. I think most young women looking at you would aspire to be like you, despite all of the problems that you've been through, because I think that you have that toughness that is just inherent in being a good woman and a good mother. And we wish you all the luck in the world.